Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Run. I'm Egberto Wills, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We're going to have a great show for you today. You remember some of those videos that we spoke about yesterday? Well, we've got them for you today because you know what? It's a new day. And when we have a new day, we have a new world. And when we have a new world, we have a whole lot of new information. Anyway, folks, welcome aboard. How's everybody doing today? I see everybody looks pretty damn good. And of course, the posse is here. Michael Rutnin, how are you doing today? Great to see you. AVQ, Nanette Bird Smith, Bridge MCP. I saw that stuff that you sent me. That stuff about Rachel Maddow. Excellent. I didn't have time to prepare it into a clip, but I'm going to put it into a clip later on today. Likewise, I like that piece. I'm going to try to get it up on the screen so that people can read it. Very important piece that you sent me there, Bridge MCP. Welcome aboard to Politics Done Right. So what are we going to talk about today? First of all, what is going on in this country? What is going on? I love Chuck Todd, somebody that has always deferred to the Republicans so often. He has really seen the light. Later on, we're going to touch on that. But you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about what the show is going to be about. Well, let's go ahead and talk about Rudnin's stuff first. Because, you know, he always does a good lot of research to start the show. And I love when people do that. First part. Had my Moderna vaccine shot yesterday, woke up to a sore arm. Guess I expected this. Our good young friend, quote unquote, young friend got his Moderna vaccine. Look, first of all, Michael Rudnin, thank you very much for doing that. You are an example to the rest of the country. Everybody that is listening to my voice, disregard the latent or the information you hear from those people that try to find millions of excuses not to take the vaccine. Look, I don't like pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies rip us off. Pharmaceutical companies pilfer the American people. We are the ones that are responsible for the genesis of the Moderna vaccine. Messenger RNA was not developed by Moderna, was not developed by Pfizer. We developed it with taxpayer dollars. Yes, they are profiting from it more than we do. But you know what? We like life. You know what we want? We want to ensure that you're not going to pollute other people with the virus. So please, folks, if you can hear this, for the several thousands who will be listening to this by the time it gets into podcasts, etc., please, I beg, I implore of thee, take the vaccine. Bring us back to a country worth living in. Bring us back to a point where we can actually exist without fear of getting killed by our fellow man. Let's go ahead and do that. Second point from Michael. Moderna says early data shows COVID vaccine is 96% effective in teens. Study says Moderna's vaccine is 96% effective with no severe reactions to first or second shot, meaning that it's ready for expansion to the younger group. By the way, that's the same vaccine I had, the same vaccine my wife had. My daughter had the Pfizer vaccine. All of us so far seem to be doing quite well. We still take the precautions that we need to take. I still do mask up. Not that I fear for myself. More that I fear that I could get a partial infection and infect somebody that has not yet received the vaccination. So it's just a responsible thing to do. But there's another side benefit. I haven't had a cold in a while, so I may continue that masking thing for quite a while because it also prevents you from getting the flu, the cold, and everything else. Think about that. I mean, I can imagine those companies that make those drugs for the cold and the sniffles and all of that. They're kind of mad. These masks are not only stopping COVID, it's stopping the flu, it's stopping the cold and everything else. Anyway, another one from Michael. Governor DeSantis signs Florida election bill into law amid new controversy. Republicans know that their ideas don't have majority polling support, that they can only win by cheating. These are the last cries of a dying party. You know what? I think it's going to turn around and bite them in the butt because it means that we are going to be a lot more responsible in getting our people to to register to vote and also to get them to the polls. So they're trying to do everything. You can't drive people to the polls some places. In Harris County where you could have drive-up voting, they're trying to remove drive-up voting. They're doing everything. Right now, our posse is out there at the Capitol in Texas marching and trying to get these guys to do the right thing. The corporations are doing the same thing. I'm going to see if I can get a live feed from Austin sometime later today. Bring it to you if I can. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says a shocking $7 trillion in taxes is going uncollected. The wealthy and their mega corporations have gotten away with tax evasion for a long time. They have to be made to pay fair share. Look, the reason why a lot of times the Republicans get away with lies like, oh, the rich can't pay it all, or somehow you can't tax the rich enough, you have to come to the middle class. It's because, again, in our schools, we have so devalued the value of math. People don't understand math. People don't understand the degree of wealth in this country and how much it is skewed to the 0.1%. Notice I didn't say 1%. I said to the 0.1%. The 1% has a ton as well. The 2% has a ton as well. But if you look at the curve, it is an exponential curve when we look at wealth and how much wealth people have. And I want to remind everybody, and because we have new listeners every day, because we have new viewers every day, I want to make sure and cauterize something in your minds. The wealth that the wealth held by the rich is the labor that were not paid to you. I want you to get this in your heads. Everybody look at the wealthy as if they are these great people that have all of this. Look, I'm not talking about a person that has a couple millions, 10 million or so. I'm not talking about those people. I mean, you work hard. If I work hard, when I worked on ComDRV, I worked, some days I never slept. I worked on ComDRV and I put out as many ComDRVs. I wrote as many programs as I could, and I collected a lot of money from doing all of that. That was my labor, bringing in all that cash. Yes, and there are a lot of people that are doing that everyday work that makes 10 millions, 15, 20 millions. That's not what I'm talking about. If you think $10 million is a lot of money, you don't understand the wealth in this country. You don't understand the kind of money being commanded by Bezos and Gates and all those under them that you don't know their names. You don't understand the kind of wealth we're talking about. You don't understand the kind of wealth that's being hidden. If we were to do as, when you see somebody like Elizabeth Warren talk about a 2% wealth tax, let's put this into contention here. A 2% wealth tax every year on the wealthy. Their wealth grows anywhere from 7 to 12% per year. We should be taxing that wealth at a much higher rate, at 7%, the wealth tax. We would solve all the problems in the United States of America, and we would be able to do so much more. But nobody wants you to know the real math, the real arithmetic of all this stuff. Because if you knew it, you would be pissed and there would be a revolution. Because if you understood that the wealthy persons, what they have accumulated, is what they have stolen legally from you. And you need to stop having passion or concern that somehow we could possibly overtax these people. Please, people, please, please. Welcome, Bridge MCP, Deborah John, from LA, talking about vaccines. Breaking news report today. And many countries are undercutting the numbers of deaths from COVID. Yes, they are. I believe that as well. Bruce Pollard, welcome aboard, Bruce. Fascism has taken over not only the U.S., but around the world. Yes, absolutely so. Daniel Ledo, I need not excuse not to take the vaccine, but let me guess, the Marxists disagree. I don't need an excuse not to take the vaccine. Marxists disagree. And look, here is a deal, Mr. Ledo. You're the only conservative in our group that has such a resistance to the vaccine for all the wrong reasons. All my wonderful other, and by the way, you're wonderful too, but all my other wonderful conservatives in here, they've taken the vaccine. And I wasn't rude to them. I wasn't disingenuous to them. I took the vaccine. I suggested others take the vaccine. If you care about other people, if you care about your family, if you care about your country, and you listen to the science, and you want your economy to prosper, you would take the vaccine. We can't force you to do it. But I tell you what we could do. All private corporations, all private companies could say, if you want to be in my establishment, show me your vaccine card or ta-ta, goodbye. We can say in public schools, if you don't have your vaccines, you don't have to have a vaccine if you don't want. You just can't come in here and infect other people. That's all. Because we've proven that this infection is not like a cold. This infection is not like the flu. This infection can have material effects on every part of your body. If you can't understand that, I cannot force you to understand that, Mr. Ledo. In your insolence, you can do as you please. It's a free country. But we are also free to isolate you and make sure that you don't have the opportunity to pollute us all. Jessica Taylor, hello, my dear. Welcome aboard. Moderna released yesterday is that a variant booster is needed. I saw that. They have a variant booster that I think they said that their vaccine still works, but you could still get some ill effects from some of the variants. But their variant vaccine is trying to capture South Africa, India, and Brazil. Let's see. All will need a booster. Yeah, Mike Cisak, Daniel Ledo, you know the Marxist knows better than you and figures they should run your life for you. There is my other good old conservative Mike. I haven't seen you around for a while, but thank you for showing up again. I hope you've had your vaccine. If you haven't had your vaccine, I'm sure if someone in your family, you pollute somebody in your family and they die, I hope you remember that. Tom C., those who substitute facts with illusion, tell lies, and sow seeds of confusion, anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers, spread deadly diseases and delusion. TJC. Exactly. Nanette Bird Smith shouldn't be surprised. Jessica Taylor. Let's see. Thank you for the link to the piece, Jessica. Let's see if I can get it up so that people can actually sign. Oh, what's that? Sign up for the daily briefing. Okay. Moderna says its COVID booster shot shows promise against variants. Yeah, I saw that. I want to put that on the screen so that as I speak and answer some of these questions, people can actually see the article that those that don't have the link from you, Jessica. Thank you very much, Jessica. Let's see. E2247, Bosho. Hello, relatives from occupied territory of Bodewami, Ho Chunk, and why do you put those words in there that I can't either pronounce or whatever? I'm grateful to see you expressing good health. Yeah, I feel better today. My head is not killing me like it was the last 2 days. Thank you for checking up on me, brother. And a couple other people sent me direct messages. I love you guys, man. You guys are just wonderful. Bridge MCP, Marxist society have never fared well. You know, the funny thing about it is there has never been a Marxist society. Everybody talks Marxism, but nobody practices it. Read the book on Marxism by Richard Wolff. I had him on the show several times. The problem is that nobody practices Marxism or good socialism or all of that. The closest we've come is the countries in the Western European countries. What do they call it? Scandinavian countries. They implement a version of a capital socialism that works very well for their people. They'll never leave it for, let's say, an America or something like that. Eric Hayes, we understand the trillions the government is asking for and potentially wasting in certain things, not needed. Actually, you're right. I agree with that, Eric Hayes. All those aircraft carriers that we built are not needed. All those money that we put in cruise missiles are not needed. All those monies that we put in ballistic missiles are not needed. You're right. Those things are going to sit in the ground. Those tanks are going to sit out there and they're going to rot. You know, I had a discussion on Daily Kos earlier today because I really hit the pharmaceutical companies pretty hard. And this guy said, Egberto, I work for pharmaceutical companies, and it is the private pharmaceutical companies that take those discoveries from the universities and really invest the money to do the trials. And a lot of those trials fail, and they lose money on that. And I responded to the guy, I said, sir, I respect that you work in the pharmaceutical companies, and I respect you. I respect what you do. I really do. The model that you're following, I agree that that is how it works. However, that is the wrong model. Because the fact that they continue to make billions on monies and not reinvest that into the tax system that paid to get the initial development, means that the American citizenry, we the people, have invested in a product just like that company has invested in the development of that product through the trials, and they capitalize those profits, and we the people who did the initial investment, the initial discoveries, we paid for the initial discoveries, and we get nothing in return. Actually, we do get something in return, a bigger bill, because they overcharge us as they lie to us about who developed and what's the actual cost of these vaccines, etc., etc., etc. Okay, Michael Rudnan wants me to put this on the screen. What is that? Cumulative growth in income before transfers and taxes. Good. Actually, that's a good one. I'm going to put that one over the one that Jessica just sent me, and take a look at that one, guys. It shows you top 0.1%, top 99.1%. That's a very, very, very good graph. Guys, take a look at those percentiles. That tells you the diseased minds that our economic system is based on. Take a look at it. And Daniel Ledo and all my conservatives who are constantly trying to defend the wealthy people who cares nothing about you, the wealthy people who actually are ripping you off, take a look at that chart and you can see that is MMT for the rich. And so, MMT and socialism for the rich and vivid individualism for the rest of us. That's what that chart shows. Okay, Jessica Taylor says, especially with the free fall going on in India, leaving the window open for variants to form. And let me tell you the other problem with India that a lot of people don't understand. India is responsible for making a hell of a lot of drugs for the rest of the world. If they get too sick, what happens to these drugs? Daniel Ledo comes back to hit me. He says, LOL, the guy who believes MMT is schooling us on math. Bizarro world. MMT is based on math. Stephanie Kelton, one of the preachers of modern monetary theory. You don't see her biting her lips. You see her writing the numbers down. You don't see people doing supply-side economics talking about that because supply-side economics is bunk. You cannot have supply if you ain't got no demand. And that's why it's a failure. Supply-side economics is a failure for a specific reason. Eric Hayes, taxing will affect all, not just the rich. Absolutely so. And we will get price increases and everything else. Yvette Avery Herod, my union heroine. Welcome to Politics Done Right. Thank you for being here. E2247, are the courts the final arbiter of what the law means? Just wonder, not sure I believe that. There is a constitutional dilemma there because the Supreme Court is the ultimate interpreter of the Constitution. That's why the Republicans have invested so much in the Supreme Court. And here's how it goes. It goes the following. If we cannot win a majority in Congress and the presidency, what the Supreme Court can do is overturn every law passed by Congress and approved by this president. And then it will take a 2/3 majority of the Congress and the signature of the president to create a constitutional amendment to force what we call a new law a law. It's what they like to call a what do they call it? Between the three branches of government. They like to call them, I forgot the word that they use, but it's a fight between the three branches of government. Each of them are independent of each other, but the truth of the matter is the Supreme Court is actually the most potent part of the government because it's just right now 9 people. And with those 9 people, they have a hell of a lot of control. These are important things. Now, let's see. That, as it seems, transnational criminal syndicates masquerading as business are those arbiters. Giuliani and friends, for example. You're absolutely right, E2247. Daniel Ledo just said, you sound like a fool, Egberto. Guess what, people? If I sound like a fool, I want to be a fool. I want to be a fool. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners want to be fools based on your definition of a fool, Mr. Ledo. So thank you so kindly for expanding the definition of fool. Thank you. Jessica, thank you for the kudos. Bridge MCP, if Egberto is a fool, then you are very foolish to be here. Listen. That is funny. That is funny. But no, we want all of them here. Come on, you stay here, Daniel Ledo, because even though you're fighting me, you're learning. This stuff is going into the back of your mind, and you are going to believe it sometime when the right fertilizer is placed in whatever you have, sir. All right, the news reported today gave a chart of the actual numbers of deaths. They have been lying since day number over 1 million. The government been lying about the biological and chemical virus. Deborah, you and I are going to have a serious conversation. You had me first, and then I don't know if I follow you on the second part, but we'll talk, Deborah, sometime. We should talk offline sometime. Mike Cisak, the flu and cold have the same effect on the lungs and hearts as research has shown. But, sir, it does not have the coagulative effects. I wish more of you would read before you just spit what comes out from the right wing, okay? Let me tell you about this virus. The virus does not only have the same effects of flu and cold. Actually, you would expect that because it's a coronavirus. But additionally, it has some coagulative effects because of the K-storm that it causes in your system. All right? It creates an autoimmune K-storm in your system, which causes coagulation and a lot more. Sir, I wish you would do more research. When I come to you and present my program, I want to learn as well from you, don't get me wrong. But I am not going to tell you something that I haven't done research on. And if I tell you something that I just surmise, I will tell you straight up, I'm surmising it. And we have a lot of people here that fact check me all the time. Michael Rudnin comes to mind. We are not likely to achieve herd immunity by vaccination because of anti-vaxxers and others who have vaccine hesitancy. I expect variants to emerge with necessity for a third booster shot next year. I think so. You're right. I saw something today on Coffee Party where they have some anti-vaxxers sitting down on a big iron ball, and you have the rest of us with a chain on our leg grabbing and pulling that iron ball trying to get to herd immunity. You're right. Those anti-vaxxers, those naysayers, they're the ones that would prevent herd immunity, and they're the ones that will continuously cause the economy to be less than it could be. Do you know how it works? You are not demonstrating. Let's see. Bridge MCP says, "Hey, I do know how logic works. Have 3 degrees in it. You obviously don't understand the statement." True. Rudnin, Scandinavian nations have social democracy. The closest country to a Marxist philosophy is Uruguay. They're doing just fine. You're right about Uruguay. And what's his name? I forgot the name of the guy, but you're correct. Nordic countries did try more socialist economic policies in the 70s and 80s until their economies nearly crashed. Then had to roll back policies until what's free market. You guys, I don't know what your source of information is. I suggest you talk to a person from Norway. I had several of them visited with us. In fact, I had an American citizen who moved to Norway, become a Norwegian, so that he could take advantage of living in a country that cares about humanity. You should look up that interview that I did. It actually went viral, not only in the United States, but in Norway, because it was an American pushing the Norwegian values. Michael Rennie, my problem with the big pharma are their horrendous business practices of putting profit ahead of people, and that they often release products with too many side effects. Every study I've indicated, you listen to a vaccine or any medicine on TV, how it's announced. This may cause this may cause that, this may cause the other. They don't create vaccines or medicines all of the time for a need. You have to remember that. They create these things. I want to give you the classic example. Everybody used Claritin. Everybody remember that drug called Claritin. When Claritin was going out of patent, it's a good drug. It works fine. But when it was about to lose its patent, they came up with a new drug. They added a new ingredient. That new ingredient had all the side effects. But guess what? They called it Clarinex. Why did they create Clarinex and try to market Clarinex instead of Claritin? Because Claritin was going into the generic form, and Clarinex had this new drug in it just so they could make money for another 17 years on the patent. Most Americans don't know that, so they hear Clarinex is out. Claritin was working just as well as Clarinex. In fact, Clarinex has some other side effects, right? Oh no, I want Clarinex. Doctors starts to prescribe Clarinex because all the guys go to the doctors and say, push Clarinex, push Clarinex. But you see, what can I say? Bruce Pollard said, somebody find one unpaid taxes over 5 years, more than the bottom of % of us. True. Joseph Murphy, welcome aboard. What about the two celebrity divorces? Bill Gates and Bezos think they are preparing for a stock market correction by shifting assets dramatically? No, at that level, they could not get away from a stock market correction. But today, Bill Gates did give Melinda $1.8 billion. I guess she must have signed a prenup or something. MMT is another version of how a Marxist dictate how the economy. Politicians determine winners and losers instead of the people. Oh my God, that's the exact opposite of MMT. Again, I wish you guys, my conservative brothers, would do more studying. At least Eric, my other conservative, he probes. You guys say things absolutely, in general, absolutely wrong. But it's okay. All right, let's see. Bree says, Daniel, I think you are outside your disagreements or a nice guy. Actually, I know Daniel Ledo personally. Daniel is not a bad person. Daniel got caught up in the Tea Party, left the Tea Party and into other things. He's a good guy otherwise, though. He really is. But you know what I say to all my people? Most people are good. That's why I get along with everybody. Most people are good people. Most people are good people. You have to be really bad to be bad. Checks and balances. Joseph Murphy, thank you. That's the thing I was forgetting. Checks and balances. Martha Benton, welcome aboard. Lelo, love how you said that, Egberto. I want to be a fool too. Love it. I'm more worried about fascists like Trumpolini. You're right about that. Jessica Taylor, the party is learning unbeknownst to him. Exactly. Daniel Ledo, E22471 wants you to stick around too. All of us want you to stick around. Mike Cisak, I had to pick up a second job to pay for my first business, family cattle business, because I suffer from leftist policy. No, because you suffer from the policies that allow you to be ripped off by the wealthy and give you the impression that it's the leftist policies that is causing your demise. We love farmers. You know I love farmers, Mike Cisak. I've spoken to you about that. You've called into the show before. I love farmers. Absolutely love farmers. Martha Benton, Egberto, you're so patient with right-wingers. I need you to send some of that this way. Get my book. Actually, it's a time for my segue. I'm going to put my book on the screen. It's called How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors. Remember, they're good people, too. And if you want to get that book, please go ahead and get that book. I'm putting that link into the screen right now. It's called How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors. And if you want to get, I put the link in the Amazon link directly to the book. But if you want to get it directly from me, where I sign it and also give it to you a bumper sticker, you can go directly to our store and purchase it. That is at politicsandright.com/store, politicsandright.com/store. Would love for you guys to go there, get T-shirts, get hoodies, get masks, get all that good stuff at my store. If you want to really support us as well, go ahead and click that join button and join the PDR posse. Our leader is Bridge MCP. Bridge MCP, make yourself, there she go, PDR posse. Be the PDR posse. The PDR posse, click that join button, become a part. If you don't see a join button, if you're on Facebook or some other network, please just go ahead and go to politicsandright.com/YouTube, politicsandright.com/YouTube, and you can also become a part of the posse. Guess what? All those people who became the posse, a lot of them decided to purchase our cups as well. You see those cups that you see on the screen right now? Those cups on the screen was designed by Bridge MCP, and she got the gist of our program. We love the left, we love the right, we love everybody. And here is the link to the cups. There is the link to the cups for the PDR posse, which means Politics Done Right posse. So folks, please consider getting that cup as well. And you're supporting the show with all those things that you do. By the way, I decided to go ahead and create a kind of a little aggregator at Amazon where all of my books are in one place. So if you go to politicsdoneright.com/books, it'll take you to that part. politicsdoneright.com/books. If you go there, you get all the books that I have. As I see it, Class Warfare, the only resort to right-wing doom. It's worth it. How to talk to your right-wing relatives, friends, and neighbors. And how to make America utopia. Take away the economy from those who rigged it. From those who rigged the economy. Welcome aboard, Courtney. Pepe176, welcome aboard. And you know Pepe is a bad word. It means white supremacist. I hope you know that. Let's see. Duck That Quacks, welcome aboard. By the way, folks, I forgot to finish my pitch. So let me finish that, then I'll be back with you. Go to Patreon, P-A-T-R-E, Politicsandright.com/patron. Politicsandright.com/patron. Patron is spelled Patreon. Or you can support us as well via PayPal. Politicsandright.com/PayPal. Here you go. Come on, Egberto. Politicsandright.com/PayPal. All right. I already gave you the store, all that good stuff. Let's continue getting busy. All right, let me continue with the posts and then I'll go with the videos. But you guys were so great with all these things that you're putting out here. Let me see where did I leave off? I'm trying to get back where I was before. MMT is another version of Marxist. I took that already. All right. LOL. Martha, love the way you said Egberto is a fool. Okay, I think I got that one too. All right. Mike Cisak, about the second job that you had to take. I feel for you. I really do. But the way the Republicans write all these laws, right? Relief for farmers mostly go to the corporations, not to you. I want that money going to you, just like you were eligible for the $1,400 that you got, the $600 that you got, and other income that you got from the government that you deserve to get. You are the person as a farmer, as a cattle rancher, and all of that. I have a lot of respect for you. Why? We couldn't make it. I mean, the truth of the matter is I want a whole lot of little U's out there. But the way the laws are written is not for a lot of little U's out there. It's for the mega corporations who buy you up for a little bit or force you to sell your cattle at the bottom prices. And that has little to do with us lefties. Us lefties want you to succeed. That's why we don't believe in supply side economics. That's why we believe in MMT. That's why we believe in those things that give you the equal access to success. That's why we want all the people in rural America should be supporting the left. The reason they're poor, the reason they get so little is that their own representatives don't support them. Here in Texas, the cities are doing fine. You know why the cities are doing fine? Because even your rural representatives do everything here in the cities. They don't care about you. But if you take a look at the jobs plan, if you take a look at the families plan, all of you are included in there. And that's what Mitch McConnell and them says they don't want for you. Let's go a little bit further. Let's get deep. Let's get deep. If you really want to understand policies, if you really want to understand what's good for you, think about this. When you want health care, well, I tell you what, let me continue doing other people's stuff and then I'll come back to you. Martha Benton says, Egberto, I'm patient. That's why I tell you to get my book. Jessica says the COVID is much worse effects than cold and flu. Much different than the normal case. Absolutely so. Ask anybody, put it this way. Ask Chris Christie, Republican Governor Chris Christie, who's now one of the biggest advocates of vaccines. Eric Hayes, no, the government spending on trains for Silicon Valley, etc. The other military items are needed and have a shelf life of 50 years plus. Wrong. Wrong and wrong. And even if they have a 50-year life, but are not designed to be used, what's the point? Daniel Ledo, okay, Egberto, care to talk about documented people dying from the vaccines? How many should we sacrifice on your altar fear? Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's assume 10,000 people died from the vaccine in the United States. It's not true. Only, I think they've documented 7 people that died in the United States from the vaccine. But let's say they are fooling you. It's 1,000 people. Because 10,000 people, you can't hide. You can hide 100. You can probably hide 1,000. 10,000 people you can't hide. But we know for a fact over about 600, at least 600 million people died of it. So would you say if the vaccine stops most people and 10,000 die, those that didn't get the vaccine is worth it? Would you say that? I wonder. Joseph Murphy, coagulation causes all sort of secondary effects, strokes, cognitive issues, etc. Joseph, my cousin got a stroke because of the coagulation effects. He got kidney damage because of the coagulation effects. Thank you for showing your smarts. As I said, I have very, very smart listeners. The doc that quacks, nobody from Norway dumb enough to come here. Exactly. Thank you. Michael Rudnin, Uruguay President Jose Mujica. His policies are about providing the needs of their people, and they do very well. Always using Scandinavia. Why it would not work via sheer numbers of people? Wrong. Again, math is absolute. If it works with 10,000 people, with 100 million people, it scales much better because we share the risk with a larger base. And eventually, you reach a steady state situation. When you have a small group, you can have large skews on each side. When you get a large enough base, you reach what's called steady state. You get that in feedback control. You get that in a whole lot of other technologies. And you get that in reality as well. Bri, who cares about their divorces? That's not what he was trying to do. He was trying to make a financial issue. The facts. There are hundreds of reports of people who have died from getting COVID, but that does not necessarily mean the vaccine was the cause. Right-wing media is reporting almost 10,000, almost 1,000. Right-wing media has already lost credibility. Anybody who wants to believe right-wing media, they are who you would call willfully ignorant. If you believe what you hear in right-wing media, you have chosen to be willfully ignorant. Well, that's a double speak, right? You are willfully ignorant. Okay. COVID vaccine doesn't protect against any kind of death that I'm aware of. All right, let's continue. Egberto, the millionaire Congress, does not have a pulse on the voter. I tell you what they have. Nancy Pelosi is multimillionaire. But Nancy is driven by the activist core. And the activist core has the pulse of the nation. Remember that. Different group of people altogether. If you can buy a few cups of coffee, you can join even the lowest level. Thank you, Breach MCP. So listen to Breach. Please click that join button. Join the PDR posse. Join the PDR posse. You will continue to allow us to put good information out there. Wait till Thursday. LOL. Let's see. Where else am I going? Let me see. I'm going to start playing my videos in a little. Oh, man. You guys have filled me up. All right. I'm going to play the videos and then I'll come back to answer the rest of the questions. Let's start with good old Chuck Todd. Look, Chuck Todd, I always had a problem with Chuck Todd. Chuck Todd gave Republicans too much opportunity to use the airwaves that belong to us all, the ability to come on air and lie, and in so doing, create people like many of the liars or many of the people who absorb their lies that we see all over. Chuck Todd has been learning his lesson. Even Chuck has a breaking point. I want you to see this because he came down hard on the party. Check this out.
Today appears to be the day that you could mark in your calendars as the day that represents the Republican Party's complete and total surrender to Donald Trump. Whether it's the Republican Party's revolt against Liz Cheney in Washington, or their new voting restrictions that they're celebrating in Florida and Texas, or the bizarre audit that's playing out of presidential results in the state of Arizona, the Republican Party has surrendered to a lie as it surrenders to Trump. And let's not mince words. It means that the American democracy is in really big trouble. More so today than it was yesterday. The number 3 House Republican, Liz Cheney, is being ousted from party leadership for the sin of speaking out against her party's embrace of the former president's outright lie that somehow the election was stolen from him. And it is not just why she's being ousted that is so alarming. It is also the way, via mob rule, that Republicans are absurdly rationalizing it. They claim Cheney is out of step with the party, that she's stuck in the past, that she won't stop talking about the 2020 election result, as if she's the one looking for bamboo fibers in Arizona. It's pretty clear that what they really mean is that she's out of step with the party's embrace of Trump's lies about those election results. That's it, which he and many in the party won't stop talking about. It's not Liz Cheney that keeps bringing it up. It's Donald J. Trump. In fact, he's already put out 2 statements today that reinforce these lies that he's trying to get people to believe, that he's trying to bully the party into accepting, including a very detailed statement explicitly reiterating this belief in a documented, proven lie. This morning in a hotel ballroom not far from Mar-a-Lago, Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis made a bizarre Fox and Friends spectacle out of signing new voting restrictions into place in a state that had no reason to do this other than Donald Trump resides in it. Protesters have gathered at the Texas legislature as Republicans push new ballot restrictions, which are based again on these myths perpetrated by Trump on the issue of supposed voter fraud. Add it all up, and it's pretty clear that what's left of the conservative movement that was once based on principles and democracy has been completely snuffed out. And Liz Cheney felt like she was the last flickering light among the elected Republican leadership. And today the light's been snuffed out. Trump co-opted conservatism. And now, just like he did with the casinos, hotels, golf courses, anything he's really touched in his life, he's about to bankrupt that too. As Liz Cheney warns her party in a Washington Post op-ed, I am a conservative Republican, and the most conservative of conservative values is reverence for the rule of law. The Electoral College has spoken. More than 60 state federal courts, including multiple Trump-appointed judges, have rejected the former president's arguments. History is watching. Our children are watching. We must be brave enough to defend the basic principles that underpin and protect our freedom and our democratic process. But time and again, we've seen elected Republicans find ways, however bizarre, to defend Trump. And ultimately, at this moment, our democracy is in danger as elected Republicans keep choosing to showcase their fealty to someone intent on undermining. Look, we all want to believe that a plurality of the elected Republicans, at least in Washington, know better. I still believe that. But I'll say this, if they do, they need to realize their silence right now is now helping to marginalize the entire Republican Party from the mainstream of American life. And maybe these folks will comfort themselves by muting the mainstream and only listening to their echo chamber. That doesn't change the reality that they are all in on Trump's crusade against the foundations of our democracy. They're marching right along. Looks increasingly dire right now as this ends either with the GOP imploding or worse, the country.
Chuck Todd has realized that the issue is really the now core of the Republican Party. That is where the cancer lies. These guys don't care anything about America. I'm not talking about the Republican rank and file people. I'm talking about those who run the Republican Party. They are using its people to really keep power for a select few. And the Koch brothers, etc., who are those people who pilfer our environment, who pilfer our people. What we have to do is make sure that Biden and the Democrats are successful in the policies that are going to help the Eric Hayes, the Mike Cesaks, the Daniel Ledos, so that they can really understand that all the failures are due exactly to the Mitch McConnells of the world, who have no intentions of making life better for their people. No intentions. And what Chuck Todd has finally come to a good realization is that the cancer in the country right now mostly lies with the Republican leadership. And that's where we're at today. Back in 2010, Mitch McConnell told us many times what he intended to do, and he has told us again. When he told us the first time, it was as if we didn't believe him, and we played ball, and because we played ball, we lost it all in the 2010 elections because we did not go big enough to let Americans know that, yes, government, we the people, works. We the people, one word, works. If we make that mistake again, if those who call themselves Democrats of any persuasion make that mistake again, it's on us. Let's remember this.
Our top political priority over the next 2 years should be to deny President Obama a second term. Our top political priority over the next 2 years should be to deny President Obama a second term.
And now we hear this.
100% of our focus is on stopping this new administration. 100% of our focus is on stopping this new administration.
Believe him. That is his intent. Anyone attempting right now to say we need to compromise for bipartisanship, that's not the issue here at all. I believe in bipartisanship. I believe in listening to what others want as well, but they don't tell you what they want, because what they want is not what their people are saying. Read the polls. The Americans are telling us what they want, and the policies being put aboard by President Joe Biden right now are those particular policies Americans say they want. Get it passed and forget about the people who are attempting to sabotage your plans, to sabotage our plans, to sabotage the plans of the American people. And if that is done, 2022 is going to be a wonderful year for people who want to move this country forward. Our progressives, our good Democrats, and our good Republicans. Now that said, I have 2 other videos, but because of timing, I'll play those 2. I'll play the Katy Tur video tomorrow, and I'll play the Biden Blinks video tomorrow, where yesterday it came to pass that Biden is supporting the release of the patents. Temporary holding off on the patent. What do they call it? Reprieve of the patents, or whatever they call that. Anyhow, let's continue with what you guys have to say. Michael Renner said, what do leftists want? Living wages, universal health care, education, debt relief, so that people can work one job and thrive. This goes against what Republicans offer with their right to work for less, laws, and their consistent opposition to raising minimum wage or getting people health care. Here's the thing, Rudnin, and this is what I want my Republican brothers and sisters here to understand. They get you scared of words like Marxism, socialism. The new thing is race something, race selection. I don't remember, some race type theory, some race theory now that is a big thing. Something that's not taught in schools or anywhere. But they get you onto keywords that get you scared, and generally you're scared of keywords you don't even understand its meaning. But they get you scared on that, and they prevent you from understanding what is it that those of us on the left are really looking for in a society. And instead they offer you what comes from the right, which is an individualism that fails. Okay, we need to keep the cattle, not reduce them because of cow farts, but Green New Deal says, there you go. Again, Eric, what I told you right, I'm not calling you stupid, but I'm going to tell you right-wing media makes you stupid. Because that stuff with the cattle and the burgers and the books that the vice president had given away, all of those things are lies. They just think that they believe that their people are so uninformed and stupid that they will believe anything. Don't make it true. Don't make what they think of you true. Green here, green supporter. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. I'm scrolling down, guys. Bear with me. Beef and dairy that actually eat grass but not commercial feed produce much less methane and are healthier. Yes, cows were not designed to eat corn. We give them corn to fatten them up, and we give them antibiotics so that the disease that they get from a depleted immune system don't get them sick, and they get bigger faster. It's amazing, right? But hey, I am so glad to be vaccinated, Martha Benton. Great. I got my 2nd dose Monday, and I feel so relieved. I'm terrified to get COVID, and I'm 33. You're only 33, Martha. I am also terrified. Look, remember, Martha, you have a big voice at that age. I think you are at the best. You're at that age at 33 that everybody listens to you. Old people listen to you, and young people listen to you. That is that when you're in your 30s, man, the mid-30s, you are like the person everybody wants to be. That was the best time of my life, in the 30s. So enjoy it, Martha. Let's see, Joseph Murphy, exactly how insurance works. Risk pools, exactly. Daniela Doe, so we now understand Egberto thinks we should sacrifice some people for the good of others or society. The Aztecs did that too. I think you should research the Aztecs. In research, the power and effectiveness of an experiment is strengthened by the numbers. That's my daughter, the doctor. Thank you, girlfriend. Not girlfriend, daughter. What am I saying? My daughter. Thank you. The duck that quacks. A lot of conservatives are doubter. They are wusses who want sure bets on everything. Live a little while, yeah. Well, Methane is also the main ingredient in natural gas because methane can be captured from landfills. It can be burned to produce electricity, heat buildings, or power garbage truck, etc. True. And methane created. Look, there is a clean methane, right? Clean methane is methane that comes from. Although there's some debate in the left right now that I'm going to enter sometime because I don't want to take it overboard. And what I mean is the following: cellulose methane should be considered green. Why? Because it comes from plants that in one lifetime we can regenerate. In other words, if we are cutting down forests to burn and replant and burn and replant and burn, that is green energy. Okay? A lot of people don't quite want to see it that way. But I have to tell them that you have to expand the thought process. We got solar, we got hydro, we got wind, and we got cellulose material, which means we can reproduce that over and over again. When we talk about alcohol coming from cane, not necessarily from corn, all those things are good. Ashley Willis, hey, happy belated. Yeah, it was my baby's birthday. Egberto, there have been a total of 88 deaths from breakthrough COVID infections as of a week. Thank you for the information. Eric Hayes, so was the Hunter Biden stuff true or which was brought? Most of it was not true. Ashley, the bigger your sample size, the higher the power. Exactly, my dear baby. Let's see. Chuck Todd always played softball with the people he interviewed. It's a rare event where he asks a hard question. That's true. Joseph Murphy, I do not care that they are getting a divorce. We don't. Yes. My post is owned by Fox. New York Post is owned by Fox. True. Unfortunately, it's still on TV. Let's continue going down this. Whoa, you guys have a lot more down. I'm very nervous about our near future. The crazies are trying to run the asylum. Yes, they are, Courtney. Yes, they are. McConnell is already telling us they will be relentless, but they are not going to win if we do our job, Courtney. Actually, if we do our job, it'll be fine. If we do our job, it'll be fine. I don't want people to be concerned. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just reaching the part where you guys are saying, Egberto, you're mute. You're mute. Okay, hello, Egberto. Okay, nice hand movements. I guess if I'm just talking to the air. Okay, and now there's a reverb. Did I fix that after echo? Did I fix the echo? Okay, no volume. Okay, good. All right, continuing down. What person is for Americans say ours do, the ours aren't willing to? Okay, we'll skip that. Courtney says, Kathy Courtney, when people show you who they are, believe them. It's time to stop negotiating with terrorists. I agree. Enlarge the court now. I agree with that too. I want us to expand the court. I want us to recover that what was stolen. It's that simple. And I don't have any bones to pick up. If somebody say you're packing the court, I'll say you guys pack the court. What we want to do is restore the court. But Biden won't do that. Biden is too good. This way I hear Egberto, well, if I missed the first time around. Okay, let's keep going. Paul Fleming, Republicans, where are the ideas? They don't have any because that's not what they're for. They're not for the average American citizen. Critical race theory. That's what it is. Critical race theory. These people are going crazy over the critical race theory. It's not taught in any high school. It's not taught anywhere. It's taught in college. Let's continue. Cattle agriculture is one of the leading causes of global warming in the way we do it. Yes. All right. Courtney says race replacement theory is the trash. Tucker Carlson split. It's first of all, there's not a race, okay? We have pigmentation, ethnicities, all that good stuff. Race is a stupid thing, as I say all the time. Let's see. Eric Hayes, I know someone's got their 16-year-old vaccinated. Good. I know someone's got their. I hope I don't know how old your kids are, Eric, but get them vaccinated when they can. All right. I care about you, brother. Bruce, free methane is bad no matter what. We need to sequester all greenhouse gases. Bruce, I don't think you understood what I was talking about. If you're talking about what I was saying, when I talk about clean methane, what I'm talking about is let's be frank. Every decomposing mass will look. This is science, and Bruce, back it up here, Bruce. all decomposing mass, cellulose mass, all decomposing mass. One of the byproducts is going to be some sort of a ethane, methane, or one of these gases. Okay? And those are going to just get thrown into the atmosphere. These gases are going to be thrown into the atmosphere. That is a part of life when these gases form in the forest or whatever. So if we're cleaning out the forest, whether it is burned in a huge forest fire or we burn it in a controlled fashion to affect electricity or to keep it in a storage or whatever, those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. This is math. Back me up, Bruce, about all decaying products creates methane. Back me up there. I need you're a physicist. No, you're a chemist. Back it up. Pam M. Hello, Egberto and everyone. Hope you are all having a great Thursday. We are having a great Thursday, and it's 4 o'clock. I want to get to everybody. Courtney, greetings, Pam. Bridge MCP. Eric, there was a trial version. Pam, hey. Forest could switch from a carbon sink to a carbon source by mid-2030. A compost pile emits methane. Exactly. Eric Hayes, let's see. Bruce, I didn't get your response, and I got to get out of here. So until we stop global warming, we need to get it gone. If farmers use some of their land for trees, it would help. True. Catch you next time. What do you think about vent pipes are for modern... yeah, the vent pipes, that's methane being kicked out. You can either turn that methane into carbon dioxide. In other words, H4, I don't remember the carbon dioxide, but if you turn it into CO2, which is a better gas, CO2, I got you, Bruce. I got you. Okay, I got to get out of here, guys. Look, I want to first thank you guys for being here with me. I want to urge you to go get my books at politicsdoneright.com/books. That help defray our costs. politicsdoneright.com/books, politicsdoneright.com/books. Please consider becoming a patron by going to politicsdoneright.com/Patreon. Patreon is spelled Patreon, politicsdoneright.com/Patreon. You can also support us via PayPal, politicsdoneright.com/PayPal, right there on the screen. Or you can become a part of our YouTube posse by, if you're on YouTube, just click that join button. Please become a part of the posse. We need your support to keep doing this. And likewise, please go to politicsdoneright.com/YouTube if you're not on YouTube at this point right now. Folks, I couldn't do this without you. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you know how I end this baby. I am what? Out! We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.